Hey everybody, this is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, this brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we'll be talking about the brand new Brooks Ghost 15. This shoe is due out in November of 2022. If you're a fan of Brooks or the Ghost, you might be thinking this is a little bit late than usual, and that is correct. Typically the Brooks is usually like a May-June launch date, but because of everything that's going on in the last couple of years, they've pushed this back, and it looks like, at least for the foreseeable future, the Ghost and the Adrenaline will become more like 18-month life cycle shoes and not a year that we're sort of been accustomed to. So the 14 has been out for some time, and the 15 is finally here, and we're excited to get into it. The Ghost and sort of its counterpart, the Adrenaline, are sort of the cornerstone of the Brooks shoe line. They are mid-cushion trainers for everyday use. You can sort of do a little bit of everything in both models. The Ghost is the neutral option and the Adrenaline is the stability option. If you've been a runner or a walker or an athlete for a long time, there's an excellent chance that you have been in a Ghost at some point in your life. What we have found with a lot of people is that if they're getting into running for the first time and maybe they've just been using sort of a knock-around pair or something, some sort of shoe they just picked up at a general athletic store that was under like a running name, and then they'll come in here and they'll try a Ghost for the first time, this becomes sort of like that first feeling of what a real shoe is. This is like that shoe that kind of gets you into an actual real running shoe, and that's not a knock on this shoe at all, but it is a perfectly high cushioned, fits your foot well, very true to size model that you can put on somebody's foot and you can see that elevated, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what real running shoes are supposed to feel like. This is like a great gateway shoe for a lot of people. And there are plenty of people that just stay in the Ghost because it is an awesome shoe and it is durable and it does have a lot of great features we're going to dive into. But this is a great spot for us when people come in and they say, I have no idea sort of what I'm looking for and my arches are fine. I have no real pronation issues. I don't have any plantar fasciitis. Nothing's bothering me and I'm just starting running and maybe I'm going to be doing a 10K in a couple months. This is a great spot to start people in because it really gives people a true idea of what a shoe should fit and feel like. You give an opportunity for somebody walking in it, you can kind of see if they need a little more or a little less on the guidance side of it, if maybe they want a little higher, a little lower on the drop to it. It's just that great feeling to start somebody off in, and it's really fun to see the expressions of people that are coming from sort of a knock-around shoe to something as premium as the Ghost, and really for what this shoe is, it is quite premium. And this is a nice update to it. They haven't crazy reinvented the wheel on it, but they've made some nice changes from the previous models to it, which is nice because it is one of their most popular models, so they didn't really want to go too crazy on it. But the changes they made were positive. Most notably, the biggest change on this is that they changed the midsole. For the last couple models, this shoe has been using what's called their DNA Loft midsole, and it's just their proprietary, nice everyday cushioned shoe. It's durable, it's soft, and this being sort of their nice everyday, their most cushioned everyday trainer, they wanted something that can kind of win in the step-in battle. That's what we hear about from our manufacturers, is they want to be able to put people into a shoe when they originally put their foot right in the heel, that it's the sizing is right, the fit is right, where the cushion feels good, is all in the right spots. They don't want to have that whole like, you'll get used to it, just try it out for 2 weeks and see how it feels. And the Ghost, you almost always, when you put it up against almost every other line that I carry here, when that first step-in feel of a Ghost, it feels great. And they've done a great job with making sure that this update falls in line with that. And this new DNA Loft midsole 2, the version 2 of it, is a little bit better. Specifically, they wanted to make it a little bit lighter and a little bit more airy. And it's interesting that, like, if you've been following the Brooks family for a while, you had a massive update this summer on the new Glycerin 20 and the Glycerin GTS 20 with their new DNA Loft version 3, which was a nitrogen-infused midsole. So that was even more pillowy and bouncy and like sort of, I don't know, bloated is the word to use, but it looked like a much more massive and robust shoe. And this shoe still has more of a traditional feel to their midsole. So this is just a little bit better, but it's not all the way to the line that you feel on like the Glycerin. Because quite honestly, I've had great success with the Glycerin, but there are some people that feel like because now it is so cushioned and it is so big that they feel very unstable on it, either on the more stable model like the Glycerin GTS 20, they don't feel as stable because they're so tall up on the shoe, which is some of the things that people find about some of the other tall big boy shoes that we carry on the wall. So this shoe is still sort of true and tried and true to what they kind of hold accustomed to with their shoe. It's a traditional, on the men's it's 9.8 ounces and on the women's it's 8.3 ounces. It's right in line with what you'd want in an everyday mesh cushion shoe. The drop on this shoe is still the same. It's a 10 millimeter heel to toe drop. So you kind of have that traditional, higher than a lot of other brands that we carry, but in line with what Brooks has always done with the Ghost. It's a great step in feel, and because it's not too exaggerated, it doesn't have too many bells and whistles, there's not a whole lot of like things that are way different, that if you are somebody brand new to running, sometimes it's really awkward and weird to go from like, I'm just wearing a regular off the wall, whatever, Asics or something that I just picked up at a DSW that said athletic running shoe on it. When you try on something that's very different as your first true experience into a running shoe, it could almost be a little bit jarring. So this is, like I said, that great gateway shoe for a lot of people to get into some of the differences and some of the things that you can sort of hone in and specialize into on a running shoe. And then there are tons of people, obviously, who get into the Ghost and they don't go away because it is a durable shoe, because you can do a little bit of everything into it. And while it has a higher drop of 12 millimeters, people still use this as a gym shoe doing stuff that's side to side. People use this on an elliptical, or they just use it as an everyday cushion walking shoe. I bet next time you're walking around, if you have a mall near you, or unfortunately our mall is kind of sad, but let's just say you do, I bet if you're sort of sharp on looking at shoes, you probably see more Ghost or shoes in this mid-cushion neutral category than almost any other shoe that you see walking around in the food court. People that don't necessarily run but use an athletic shoe as an everyday shoe, the Ghost seems to always fall in that category, and like is always one of the top 2 or 3 in our store of people that are like, hey, I just want something for every day. I find that athletic shoes, specifically running shoes, give me the cushion, support, everyday feel that I want, so I can go about my day, whether I'm wearing them to work or just as an everyday shoe to walk around and do grocery shopping and such. And so like I see Ghost so often out and about because of all those characteristics, that it is so easy to get into and it is so accommodating and it fits well. The new 15, not only does it have a little bit more cushion to it because of the DNA Loft version 2, but it comes in a variety of colors. On the men, it comes in a standard, and it's one of the few Brooks shoes that goes all the way up to a 4E. On the women, it goes into a narrow, and it goes up to just a standard wide, a D width. There's not a 2E extra wide version on the women's side yet, but for now, it does have a standard D width, and it goes down to a standard, or to a narrow. So you have a variety of sizes, you have a variety of widths. A lot of times during the holiday season, sometimes they'll make fun different colors of this for different events. You know, they'll have sort of a Christmassy version, and St. Patrick's Day, they'll usually find some stuff between the launch and the Ghost to make those fun ones, because they know people wear these shoes all the time, and you can pull it out years down the line and wear it on another St. Patrick's Day and still feel like the shoe is in great condition to it. This shoe hasn't changed its price. It's still $140. And because the shoe is nice and durable, this is one of those shoes that you should expect, if this is going to be your primary running shoe, you should get that 350 to 500 mile life expectancy out of this shoe. It has tons of cushion around the heel, so it sets and feels your foot super nice. And while they've added some, while the midsole on this is a little bit taller, the stack height is just a little bit taller, it doesn't feel heavier. They wanted to try to kind of balance it out. So the midsole, while it's a little bit more, just a little bit more substantial than the previous version, the shoe doesn't weigh anymore. It's almost virtually the same, but it still feels nice and cushioned and structured and padded. It's just a nice all-around shoe, and because it has tons of actual rubber on the outside, not a lot of exposed foams to it, this is going to be a great durable shoe. And again, a shoe that you could do some side-to-side mobility into. There's really not a whole lot of things you couldn't do in a Ghost. The only thing we use this shoe, we talked about, as a gateway shoe. So if you're somebody who tries on a Ghost 14 or finds a 15, and you find yourself needing some support because you're doing a little bit too much side-to-side movement, or you just don't feel as stable, that's where you shift over to the Brooks Adrenaline 22, which has the exact same sort of vibe to this shoe. It has guide rail stability to keep you more stable. So there's sort of those companion shoes between your neutral and your stable shoe, and they fit and feel very similar, except one is more stable and one is more neutral, with the Ghost being the more neutral option. One of the things they made on this upper that I just wanted to touch on real quick is they put some energy into making this a little bit more environmentally friendly. So this upper, while it kind of feels very similar to the previous uppers that they've had on the Ghost, their 3D stretch upper that's designed to fit more sock-like and sort of snap into place. This upper is designed comes from recycled parts, and they say it's equivalent to taking 8 water bottles out of the earth and putting it into a new durable product. My question to you is, and if you wouldn't mind leaving it down below in my comments, is I'm seeing more and more brands that are doing that. They're making a whole lot of effort into putting things more recyclable into shoes, which is great. I rarely get asked for it. I think I could probably count on one hand the amount of times that people use that as a deciding factor into making a shoe purchase. So I guess my question I'm posing to you is, does that matter to you a lot? Are you specifically looking for a shoe that is made from recyclable parts, or something that is a little bit more conscientious to keeping things out of landfills? I'm just curious, because we get asked that from our manufacturers, if that's the direction the consumers are going. So please let me know if those are the type of things that sway you if you're between models, or if you're specifically looking for shoes that are a little more environmentally conscious. I would just like to know for my own sake. Brooks Ghost 15 due out in November of 2022. It's $140. And if you want to shop from us, you can go ahead and click the link below. And if you enter promo code RUNMORE, just one word at our website, you'll save 10% and we'll ship it out for free. If you could do me a favor and like and subscribe to our channel, it really helps us find some new people out there. And as always, thank you so much, and I hope to see you around town.